Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Now, it's Saturday, and I'm online at about 11 Pacific on Saturdays, but I had my team meeting today, so I'm a little later. So thankfully, I'm actually able to join, and I didn't have to cancel. So I'm glad that you're able to join with me. And when you join, hopefully you can tell me where you're from and tell me your name, and yeah, we'll get started. So today I'm going to make a fancy fold card that I've never made before. Now, I got this card as a swap during on stage, and she called it a standing gatefold card. So I'd never made one of these. And if you joined me on, hey Lynette, if you joined me for my sketch challenge last Tuesday night, I used this card as the inspiration for my sketch and said that one day I would make it the actual fancy fold. So today's the day, and I'm going to use the Decorated with Happiness, which is a bundle from the mini catalog. Unfortunately, I really like it. Unfortunately, it's retiring. So if you haven't seen the list of items from the mini catalog that are retiring, I'm going to post it on my Facebook group and send it out in an email for you, because if you haven't got things from the mini catalog that are retiring, you probably want to get them before they're gone. All right, let me switch over to my desktop and we will get started. All right, so this is the Decorated with Happiness bundle. So I love the kind of pencil line drawings of the ornaments and the bows. I'm actually using the die cuts today, so won't be. I use the sentiments, but won't use the these ornaments. But I really love this. I used it. We did a class earlier in, I think, August, and we made 5 great cards with this. So if you haven't seen this one, you might want to take a look at it, because it's a really nice bundle. All right, so got my pieces here. So the first thing you need, gotta find the right ones. Okay, so let's get my pieces in here. So I'm combining the Decorated with Happiness bundle along with the Boughs of Holly designer series paper, because I think it's a great kind of combination and goes so nicely together. So the first thing that you want to do is cut a base. So I'm using Evening Evergreen. Just bringing in my, oopsie, dropping things, bringing in my trimmer to get started. Okay, so you need a base that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is what your kind of the rest of the gatefold is going to adhere to. And then you need a piece, I think this is the piece, that is 5 1/2. Let me make sure I've got the right piece. 5 1/2 by, no, not that one. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, 5 1/2 by 7 1/4. So you need to do some scoring. So we're going to score this at 1 3/8. This great score. Oh, that didn't score. It's not all the way down. There we go. Okay, so 1 3/8. 2 1/2. 4 3/4, and 5 7/8. And I'll tell you those again. So it's 1 3/8, 2 1/2, 4 3/4, and 5 7/8. So normally I fold. So I'm going to flip this over. I probably should have flipped my cardstock going back ways, because we're going to accordion fold this. And normally I always say fold into the mountain. So if I really wanted to always fold into the mountain, I probably should have done this, but we'll see if we can make it work. So what we're going to do is this middle piece the piece in the middle is going to be the center of your card fold. And then basically we're going to kind of accordion. So we're going to fold in on that kind of the 2 middle score lines. So we're going to fold those 2 in on themselves, basically. And then we're going to go fold back on the outside score lines in both directions. And actually this works perfectly because I'm folding into the mountain. Okay, so basically you're going to mountain, accordion, sorry, mountain, valley, valley, mountain is what you're going to end up doing. So you end up with this kind of gate fold like that. I won't say it's a Z fold. Hey, Julie, welcome. So that's the way what you end up wanting to. So again, it was 1 3/8, 2 1/2, 4 3/4, and 5 7/8. And then you're going to fold in on the two middle score lines and then back on itself. So when I bring in so this is my card base. I cut 2 pieces of the designer series paper. You could use anything, but I really like these ones. These are 1 inch by 5 1/4. And we're just going to adhere these down on the sides of mine. Oh, good. I'm not sure I understand. Oops. Siri woke up for some reason. Every once in a while, Siri wakes up based on something I say. Okay, so we're just going to adhere these on the both sides of this, just so that it's not quite so plain a base. And I think 1 inch should be fine, so that it's part of it's going to be covered. But there we go, like that. Now this piece is going to fit on. Just wanting to make sure I've got this right. Yeah, I do. Okay, so this is going to fit in the middle here. Now I'm going to use Stampin' Seal just because I like to use something that's a little bit more sturdy or will hold more. So Stampin' Seal or Tear and Tape adhesive I find just kind of works the best. And we're going to adhere this so that it's equal distance and it's aligned with the top and bottom of my card base. So I've got it there. Okay, so we've got our fancy fold basically made. And now this piece, and I'll tell you the measurements, is going to go on the front like this. So it's going to open like that. So got that piece on. So now I've got a piece of, this is real red, and I cut this 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. And then I cut another piece. Oh, which one do I want to use? This paper is so pretty, it's kind of hard to choose what I want. I think I'm going to use the poinsettias. I was going to use these polka dots, but I think it's going to be the poinsettias. All right, so we're going to adhere this piece of designer series paper onto the real red, like that. And now this piece, you only want to adhere to the left-hand side so that it's going to open like this. So we're going to adhere it so it is kind of aligned in the middle, but only to the left-hand side. So I'm just going to take, and I'm going to use Stampin' Seal just because I can control that. And I'm just going to put 2 strips on. Again, fold this on itself, and then there we go. So now we've got our card front that opens like that. So I'm not going to do anything on this side because nothing shows. We've got it there's nothing showing on the front, but I do want to decorate the front. So I went ahead and I did some die cuts already. So from Evening Evergreen, if I can find my take your pick tool, I cut one of these great bow pieces out. So there is a stamp, so you can stamp and cut out a bow. But in this case, I just love this die cut that cuts the bow shape out. So you can use this in combination with the stamped images if you want as well. So not all these are going to cut out for some reason. All right, that's okay. Should have poked this out ahead of time. That is the thing with these. You end up with all sorts of little bits. All right. If you've got the brush end for your take your pick tool, that works really well. And of course, I don't have it handy. We're just going to poke, and hopefully I can get all these bits poked out. It doesn't want to. Again, maybe. There we go. All right, I think I'm getting there. All right, come on. There we go. Okay, so we've got our bow. Okay, so what I thought I would do is I'm going to take my bow, and I also cut out some of the ornaments, and I cut these out of the distressed gold paper. I just love this paper. So you could use gold foil, you could use the distressed gold, just kind of a nice to add some gold. Or if you don't, you could cut it out of different colors of cardstock, and then there are these bows that I cut out of real red. So if you used cardstock for it, you could cut your bows out of gold, for example. Okay, so what I thought I would do is just take, and I'm not sure I'm going to use all of these ornaments, but I did cut 3 of them out. I may not, maybe. There we go. I think I can put 3 on. Okay, so I'm just going to use glue dots to, well, first of all, I'm going to use some liquid glue to adhere this on, and I'm only going to adhere it, even though it's going to overlap on the edge. I'm just going to make sure I adhere it to the front part of my card base. And I made the mistake yesterday, or I think it was yesterday, might have been even Thursday night when I did my, oh, there we go. Now I got lots. My live, I left my glue open. It's not a good thing. So I'm just trying to get a little bit of glue. I got glue all over the place. All right, so we will just take and put some glue like that to adhere the bow. And it is overlapping, and that's fine because it's not overlapping the card base. It's just overlapping the front. Oh, and then I've got some glue there. Well, we'll deal with that one. Let's take that. If you've got an adhesive remover, you can always get rid of some glue like I did. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to use glue dots to adhere my ornaments. So I'll just take and stick these on. And let's do, I'm going to do the big one. This is the bell. So let's do the bell. Maybe we'll do the bell there. And we can do that one like that. And then this little round bubble, let's put right there. Oopsie, I think I lost my glue dot. I did. Like I said, I really think this Decorated with Happiness bundle goes so well with these Boughs of Holly designer series paper. So I'm just going to again use glue dots to put these bows on. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do for a sentiment, as well as there is an inside to this card. So we'll decorate. All right. dropping things all over the place. My fingers are not working today. There we go. One more bow, or one more bow. There we go. Right, those red bows, they don't show up real well, but I think they're okay. Now, I've got a piece of basic white that I cut, and I cut this 2 1/8 by 5 3/8. So this is going to go on the inside. The problem is my glue's almost empty. That's why I'm okay. So this is going to go on the inside. So when you open your card, you've got this spot in the middle. Now you're going to get that in there, probably like that. Ink or glue on my finger. All right. So now I've got a spot on the inside to be able to write a sentiment. Now, a couple of things I need. I need a piece of basic white, which fell on the floor. And we need a, let's see, I think I'm going to use Real Red. So there's Real Red ink. And let's do the one that says Christmas Greetings. And as I often do, I'm going to just fussy cut this out. So I'm going to just take and kind of fussy cut around the edge. You could use a die or a punch. You could cut it out just in a rectangle using your paper snips. But there we go. All right, and so now we're just going to take, and I'm going to use dimensionals on this. All right, do I have there some? And I really think that this needs some more embellishments, but I don't have any handy. So we'll put that there. I do have some linen thread, so let's see if I can do something with linen thread. Because I'm just thinking, maybe I'm just going to tie a little bow for each and kind of make a double bow. See what that looks like. I love linen thread, and if they ever get rid of it, I don't know what I would do. I know they would always replace it with something, but anyway, I love linen thread. Okay, so let's see. Maybe I'm just going to double bow that, I think. And there we go. Okay, so let's do some more of those. Thank you, Julie. You know, it's always, you never know what things are going to turn out like. I don't make, for the most part, when I do these lives, I'll tell you a secret, I actually haven't made the card. I usually just have some kind of idea of what I'm going to do. So sometimes it's a bit scary because, you know, they don't turn out the way you hope they turn out. And sometimes they turn out way better. But all right. There we go. All right, one. My fingers are just not working today. There we go. And I was trying to find, oh, I know, I can see it. I was going to give you the name because I didn't tell you who made this, the original card. So Becky Hahn was the demonstrator who I got the swap from at Onstage. Some of you may know Becky, but that's who made the original card, and hers was using the Christmas lights bundle. So what I want to do is I'm just going to take my bone folder and just make sure it's got kind of a really good crease because it's not staying closed very well. So let's see, I probably can't do that one. All right, there we go. If you find that it doesn't close very well, you can always take a book, for example, and lay it on. And sorry, don't know why those spammers decide that they're going to interrupt me. But if you ever see any nasty comments or inappropriate comments, just block them, because I don't know why they decide that that's a good idea. But all right, so the other thing I'm going to do is, just because I think this needs something on the inside of the card, I'm just going to stamp one of these cute ornaments in, let's see, I think I'll stamp it in Evening Evergreen on the inside of my card. Like that, just down here. There we go. Aren't those ornaments cute? I think they're so fun. You could color them, or you can just stamp them like I did. So there you go. So that's called a standing gatefold card, and definitely will stand, which is really nice. I'm glad you didn't see the comments, Julie. Hopefully I managed to get them blocked before you did. Like I said, I don't know why they decide that it's a good thing to do. But anyway, we got them blocked. So, all right. So there is my standing gatefold card for you. And thanks to Becky Hahn for the idea, because I really love the card that I got from her at On Stage. And that was a new fancy fold for me. I had never seen one of them before. So definitely a fun card. Thanks. Again, if you haven't looked at this Decorated with Happiness, you might want to check it out before it retires at the end of December. Thanks, Diane, for blocking one. That's perfect. So the retired list has been released, and so things will start to sell out as we get closer to the end of December, or the beginning of January, when the current mini catalog retires. So if you really want something that's on the retired list, I suggest you get your order in sooner than later. The other thing that is retiring is this Boughs of Holly designer series paper. And that whole Boughs of Holly suite is one of my absolute favorite from this catalog. I've used it so much. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. I will be live again at 12 noon tomorrow, which is my regular time. And so hopefully you'll join me. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but we'll find something, a project to make. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Happy stamping.